Alright, folks, got a martial arts movie here to talk about, so, wear my gi for a little bit. Stupid. Probably looks silly as all mess, trying to talk about a movie, but I'm wearing, judo clothes. Anyway, Mortal Kombat, not the new one. The new one sucks. We're going to be talking about the old one, the original Mortal Kombat movie. Now, Mortal Kombat 1995, let's get into this.
Each of us, there burns the fury of a warrior. In every generation, a few are chosen to prove it.
One of you three will decide the outcome of the tournament.
Three strangers will travel to the mystical realm of Outworld to defend our people against Shang Tsung.
You will die.
And his forces of darkness. In an ancient tournament, one more victory.
Your soul is mine.
And our world is theirs.
It has begun!
You can't run from me, Shang!
I don't need to run.
Liu Kang, Raiden, Johnny Cage, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Sonya.
Combat begins.
Alrighty then, Mortal Kombat, the movie about the game that gave my mom a reason to write her congressman back in the day about making some sort of label on games so she'd know what not to buy me. That's not to imply my mom was the Karen responsible for the ESRB, but she was one of the Karens responsible for throwing enough of a fit that Congress had a hearing to determine if pixelated blood would cause me or my peers to kill our classmates. Spoiler alert, it wasn't games, it was bad parenting. Anyway, I recently saw that travesty of a movie, the Mortal Kombat 2021 version, and figured I'd go watch the better movie from 1995. And let's make something clear here. I'm not saying Mortal Kombat 1995 is a great movie by any stretch of the imagination, but it is a better movie than the 2021 version. 1995 version knew it was a stupid movie about magic kung fu, and said let's get to the video game adapted martial arts scenes that look like Frank Dukes choreographed them anyway.
That's a very good question.
So the story is a flimsy excuse to bring together our heroes to fight the bad guys. There's a tournament being held that, if Earthrealm loses, we'll see our beloved blue marble in space be absorbed by Outworld, which we come to discover is basically downtown Chicago with monsters. In order to defeat Shang Tsung and his minions, Raiden gathers together Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, and Veronica Vaughn.
Oh, Veronica Vaughn. So hot. Want to touch the hiney.
Standing in their way are the two ninjas Scorpion and Sub-Zero, the criminal Kano, and the reigning champion Goro. Tournament gets underway and our three main heroes start racking up the wins and overcoming their personal flaws. Well, actually really only Johnny Cage. He was kind of a jerk and learns to be more of a team player. But as it turns out, Shang Tsung is a sore loser and...
blew himself up along with his opponent? What? It's what I do.
Close. He actually kidnaps Veronica Vaughn and brings her to Outworld. Well, Liu Kang got a double flawless on the pit without blocking, so he unlocks the reptile fight. And, brief aside, maybe it's just me, but simpler designs look so much better than sticking 15 belts and 20 extra hanging jewels on your characters. Looking at you, Square Enix. Scorpion and Sub-Zero and Reptile are the same guy in a Walmart ninja costume in 3 different colors. The masks are slightly different. They don't have all these super encumbering doodads hanging off them, forcing me to ask how the heck the actors can even manage to see where they're going, let alone have a fight to the death. I mean, look how far that hood comes out. This guy does not have peripheral vision. 1995 Scorpion might be a little uncomfortable in that getup because raising his arms may ram the shoulder pads into his neck, but 2021 Scorpion looks like he has a 1950s mother that wanted to make sure he was warm enough before he went outside to play. Getting back to business though, Liu Kang and Johnny Cage finally come face to face with Shang Tsung, who takes on Liu Kang in the final boss fight. One of Shang Tsung's abilities is to summon up a bunch of mooks who Sully's taken to fight for him. And real fast, I get why you don't ever see it in the games because it would be a balancing nightmare, but wouldn't that make so much more sense to incorporate into his moveset somehow than turning into other characters? Because the way morphing is supposed to work, at least in the old lore, was he had taken the soul of a slain combatant and could from that point on transform into them. That's why he was the last boss, because all the other combatants were supposed to be dead. Well, Liu Kang kills Shang Tsung and all's well that ends well, except now Shao Kahn shows up at the end to challenge Earthrealm's heroes to a mulligan, leading into the sequel that, well, we all like to forget about. Now, while I do like the movie, there's still quite a bit wrong with it. First of all, the CGI was terrible even for the time it released, so that part obviously hasn't aged well. Katana also has nothing to do except give Liu Kang a bucket of water and may as well not be in the movie. And for being a wise mentor figure, Raiden didn't guide them a whole lot other than tell them what Mortal Kombat was and why they should care. As far as what I liked about it, look, if you've been watching this channel, I think you kinda get what I'm into. Stuff that doesn't take itself too seriously and isn't trying to be this deep philosophical think piece when your titular character flies around in his underwear finding mad scientists. The movie also keeps a tight roster of heroes and gives each of the three enough to do to stay relevant. Liu Kang is the big hero, Johnny Cage is the comic relief, and Veronica Vaughn is the sensible one. Likewise, Kano, Goro, Scorpion, and Sub-Zero are made imposing from the start and get just enough screen time to be worth beating up without taking up more space than they need to. And finally, the fight scenes have that old school charm full of exaggerated motions and comic bombastic flair. All in all, not a classic must-see movie by any stretch, but if you can catch it on Netflix or for $5 in the bargain bin, you won't be wasting your time. Mortal Kombat 1995. I'm gonna say it again, I think this is probably like third or fourth time saying it. It is not a masterpiece. It is not like a cultural icon kind of movie. It is not it's not John Wick, it's not any of those. But it's still a fun little stupid movie to watch. It's like an hour and 15, hour and a half minutes long. It's not gonna waste your day. And maybe that's just, again, me personally, like, I'm more and more attracted to movies that do not last longer than like an hour and a half, because I already feel like I don't have enough time in the day as it is. But yeah, Mortal Kombat 1995, my opinion, so much better than the new one they just dropped. Go check it out. I'm not gonna say you have to watch it once in your life, anything like that, but if you happen to, like if it's on Netflix or Hulu or whatever and you're just scrolling along, you got nothing better to do, pop it on in the background. You'll laugh at it. In the meantime, go out there and treat each other like you have some sense.